Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I got a great review for you today. A lot of people have been asking me to do this. I'm going to be comparing American prisons with the Norway prison, a place called Halden. It's a prison that's doing a lot of great stuff in Norway. But before I get started, please check us out on YouTube. I always say it. Check us out on our member programs, Patreon, YouTube, our Discord. Please check our merch out. Please check out my book, Gangster Redemption. You guys will love it. Now, the prisons in Norway are built on rehabilitation. The prisons in the United States are built on punishment, not rehabilitation. It's a big difference.
I've been checked into a lot of prisons, and it's never a pleasant experience. Oh, hi. This is the first time I've had a welcoming handshake from a guard.
The minute you get in there, they shake your hand. Who the fuck? I never had I'm in shackles. First of all, you come in belly irons and shackles like this, and the guy's shaking your hand. It's like, wow. I mean, talk about put you at ease or put you at awkward situation. And you don't want to, you know, usually it's, in the United States, it's us against them, you know? It's the guards against the inmates. That's where you want it. You don't want, you know, inmate on inmate. You want, you know, you wanted to take that. You wanted to have that pride. You were a fighter. I was a convict. Fuck the system. But, you know, the system made me that way. And why I mean that is, in Norway, they focus on rehabilitation. They had a shop. They were fixing cars, making tables, to train inmates on how to make a living, give them a real trade.
Gosh, this is crazy. I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing here. I mean, these guys are underneath the cars doing something I don't know. It looks like this guy's changing the exhaust. This prison is very clever in creating a normal environment, a working environment, just like you get outside.
Now, the United States says, oh, we're going to train and we're going to give them Unicore. Well, Unicore's slave wages. You're not learning a trade. That's slave wages. Now they'll have what they call CMS in the United States, and then they'll have the plumbers and the carpenters and the electricians. But this makes me laugh. They don't take a guy like, let's say Larry Lawton doesn't know anything about plumbing and we're going to teach him a trade. So let's teach him that trade. No, they take a real plumber who screwed up his life out there and they just use him as a person to do work. That's all it is. So they're making their jobs. They're not training somebody new for a job on the outside. There's no job training. There's no education. I love it in the United States. They say, oh, we have education. We make them get their GED. They do that. They will make you go. If you don't have a GED, they'll make you go to school. But what did they do in the United States? They stopped all kind of grants or anything where a person, they call them Pell Grants and different grants, so an inmate could try to educate himself, maybe with a college degree or in business or a college degree in law or anything. I had to pay for correspondence courses when I was in prison. If I didn't have the money to do that, the system wasn't helping me at all. The system doesn't help you.
We don't like to dress up like this, but if we have to, we have to.
The prison has a unique subterranean tunnel system that offers rapid access to any part of the complex. The guards here train for every eventuality.
When I was in the hole in USP Atlanta, when they came and got you, like if they had to do what they call a cell extraction, which they showed in this show. A cell extraction is when they got to come with, we call them the goon squad. The prison system calls them the SORT team. When they come and get you and they cell extract you, they come down the tier and everybody's at their door looking, and then later they used to cover the windows because they beat you so bad that they didn't want anybody to see what they were doing to you. But anyway, so now everybody's seeing you, they're hearing you down the tier, they're hearing the screams, and this is in America. Well, in Norway, they have underground catacombs, a whole system. So when they want to transfer that inmate or go into a place to get their cell extraction, you don't got to bother anybody in the whole entire prison, you know, I mean, whatever it is, in the whole system. You don't have to bother them. I mean, it's a matter of people don't even know what's going on.
This is very different, isn't it? You're not a prisoner.
Yeah.
Hello, nice. I'm Raphael.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing to do for a prisoner who's here on the first day, to greet a prison officer?
Oh, yeah.
That's normal, is it? This doesn't feel normal, a prison officer sitting down on the sofa having a chat with prisoners.
It's like that here.
Okay.
See, in the United States, if a guard did that, he's going to be fired because they're going to think he's being corrupted. And they don't want the guards to interact with the inmates because they think they're going to be manipulated. Well, you know what that shows me? That you're either hiring the wrong people or you have no faith in the guards that you hire, that you think they're going to be corrupted. That's what it is. That's how bad it is. That's a bad statement on the powers that be in a prison. Because if you hire people that you don't trust to interact with someone and maybe understand the vibe of the prison, what's going on in the prison, whatever it is, and you just don't trust them to not get manipulated, what you're saying is that we're hiring the idiots that can't be trusted and inmates are going to manipulate them. They're just idiots. And that's a sad thing because I know guards that were great guards. Like I said, Gary Massey, certain other guards I know in prison that were good dudes. We had no intention of corrupting them. If they want to be corrupted, you'll be corrupted. It's not like that. It's not like, oh, let's corrupt that guy. It comes naturally, however it comes. The guy might need it or whatever the case is, and they don't pay them enough in a lot of ways. The interaction with the guards and the inmates showed me a lot of trust for the system of Norway prison. A lot of trust in their own employees. They must pay them pretty good or whatever it is. But it was a trust in the system. You're trusting the people you hire to handle these inmates. And obviously, I try to look behind the scenes of something like this going on. And again, they even say if you got 20% recidivism rate, that means 20% of all those people in there are coming back. Now, obviously, can people be corrupted? Are they corrupted? Yes. Or do I think there's... I don't think they really, listen, they focus on straight rehabilitation.
Look at this place. I mean, this has got to be worth tens of thousands of pounds of recording equipment.
It's a question I'm keen to put to Dutch drug smuggler Theo.
Now, I'll tell you what, this is going to be really weird for me to say this. A part of me almost thinks they're too easy. And I don't know, it was really hitting me differently while I was watching this, thinking about my own prison time and thinking about how good we could do a lot better in the United States compared to other countries. And this is not just Norway, obviously Germany, Sweden, a lot of these other prisons, Italy, France, they have a lot better prison systems than the United States. The United States just has a suck-ass prison system.
Does it feel like you're in prison?
I understand your question, because no bars and it's not like a prison, but still you're inside. Yeah, and so you cannot go anywhere, and you miss your family, and so it's still a prison.
So it doesn't matter that you're in an environment that is treating prisoners with humanity, dignity, respect. Their focus is on rehabilitating people.
So let me compare the two prisons. The maximum security prison was a place called Halden in Norway, and I'm going to compare it to USP Atlanta when I was in Atlanta in the United States. Now, you want to talk about totally different look and feel. Atlanta was built in 1903. This place is pretty new, real new. They treat you in this prison in Norway like a human. You actually get a room. You don't get a cell. In Atlanta, you get thrown in with the wolves and you're in just squalid conditions. The worst of the worst, or whether it's the weather, if it was during a time where the winter was there, there'd be broken glass and it'd be freezing in your cell and you're literally shivering, in your cell, laying in a ball in Atlanta, because I did this. and you know, you're freezing, your balls are fucking, you know, sucked up into your body, your whole body is just, you're freezing. And they didn't give a shit. They're lucky if they give you one little blanket. Lucky. In this Halden prison in Norway, wow, they have an actual room. They actually have a refrigerator in the room. They have a TV in the room. It's nice. They eat with a knife and a fork. It's just totally different. And I'm talking, let me give you a little, first of all, let's break it down into the criminal justice system. In the United States, very barbaric system, you can get life for shit. Doing things are not even a violent crime. You could be a drug dealer, a big drug dealer, and get life. I mean, you didn't kill anybody, you didn't do anything, you didn't order a murder, you'll get life, depending on the weight of the crime and all, weight of the drugs and all that. In Norway, no matter what crime you commit, murder. This one guy they did in a show, killed a rival drug dealer, buried his body. I think he got 17 years. The maximum sentence you can get in Norway is 21 years. 21 years. Well, they better be on rehabilitation. In the United States, you know, you give a guy a life sentence, and again, in the United States, like, life is letters. You're getting L-I-F-E, boom, stamped in your jacket. You're done. You never get out. You get out in a body bag. Period. You get out in a body bag. So it's not like you're gonna, get parole out of that. There's no parole. There's none. It's none. Like I said, the United States is one of the most harshest systems in the world. So now, the United States has this life and sentence and all that kind of stuff. Norway's 21 years, so they're getting out, and they really, really focus on rehabilitation. Let me tell you how deep they focus. Before they changed their system in Norway, they had about a 70% recidivism rate, kind of like the United States. Now they have between a 20 and 30% recidivism rate. Think of that. Think of the money they're saving. I don't care how much it costs to rehabilitate this guy. He's not reoffending. 20 to 30% recidivism rate compared to a 70%. That's not even something that can be debated. If you don't do that, you're an idiot. And there's where I look at the United States, and I think it's a real corrupt system, and I think it's a money system, and I think it's private prison systems, which I did hear Biden is not is stopping all federal contracts with private prisons. I hope it's true and not just some political bullshit. But whatever it is, my point is the systems are totally different. They're looking at people as human beings. And you know, even in the United States, I think it's 96% of all inmates are getting out. 96%. So there's 4 or 5% that are never getting out. Well, that's 95% of people that you want to be seen rehabilitated, because who do you want living next to you? I often tell people, you know, when you rehabilitate someone, you're not only helping that person, because he's not going to commit another crime, you're preventing victims. Now, if you're out there right now and you're looking at this video and you're thinking, who's my neighbor? How would you like the neighbor to come to you? A guy moves in and, you know, he rents from you, I don't know where you're at, whatever it is, close by. And he's a guy who's bitter, don't give a fuck, and before you know it, he can't get a job because he wasn't rehabilitated, he has no trades, and he says, fuck this, and he's now looking for his next victim. Do you want that guy living next to you? Or do you want the guy that really learned rehabilitation, was taken off drugs, got fixed from drugs, was maybe helped with a trade, and all of a sudden that guy is now your neighbor, wants to help you and even do things for you, because these people are good people. Now, you're going to get a lot of feedback. I know I'm going to get this feedback, everybody. I know it's happening. I'm going to get the feedback of, what about the victims? And you're right. How's this? I'm not even going to fight that. I feel for victims, but I'm trying to prevent more victims. It's not so much I'm some bleeding heart liberal, anything like that. I think if we fix a person, he's going to have less victims. So now you're actually saving people. You're helping people, because now there's no more victims. And, you know, yes, do I feel for the victims? But once a person becomes a victim, there's nothing you can do to just change that and make that person whole again and not be a victim. Sad as that is. And what's also sad is, you know, I really feel bad for somebody who loses somebody or something, but you can never get that person back. And there are crimes. I know. I often people ask me about the crimes in prison, or I call it prison justice. Everybody you think about, and you think about this good. Whitey Bulger, the snitch from Boston, who was a federal informant for years, was a major criminal, played both sides of the aisle, went to a prison, I think Hazleton, USP Hazleton, in the federal system, and he was killed his first day. They put his eye out with a shank, and they were cutting his tongue out, and they killed him. That's called prison justice. You want to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, who ate people, goes to prison, he gets killed in prison by the inmates. That's called prison justice. If you're a rapist, or if you're a child molester or something like that, that's not going over well in prison, and it's called prison justice. But comparing Norway to the United States penal systems, not only system, the prisons, how about this? There's no comparison. You can't compare them. The United States system is broke. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt. It has to be torn down. I don't mean the prisons, every one of them, obviously, because there's new prisons, everything else. Hell, they make them all. They need to take prisons, and the way they rehabilitate, the way they run prisons needs to be changed. Some people say, oh, Norway's a small country compared. You're right. But every state in the United States has its own way of doing things. And, each state can do it different. But the federal government is 200-something thousand inmates. So it's not like it's, millions. There's over 2.3 million people incarcerated in the United States. But the federal system, I'm talking about the federal system. And comparing the federal system to the Norway system at Halden prison, there's no comparison. They treat people like human beings. When you treat a person like a human, you're going to get a human. You treat a person like an animal, he's going to become an animal. That's fact. So if you want to look at a good show, go look at Netflix. It's called Inside the World's Toughest Prisons. But go to Norway. Go to the Norway show. Now, I'm watching other shows on there now. Of course, I keep watching them. I know Raphael. And he goes into some horrific prisons, but they're third world country prisons. I don't compare the United States to a third world country. I just don't. I compare it to other countries in the same kind of financial situations and economic situations as the United States. When you can do that and then compare them and say, oh, the United States is better, I can't find one. Not one country where the United States is a better prison system. It's just sad. It is what it is. We need to change it. Prison reform is a real thing. I'm here for that. We're going to do a bunch of stuff on that. This pandemic's almost over. I'm going on the road. We're going to do a whole show on this, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, everybody, I really want to thank you for listening and watching this show. Much love, much respect. Good job, Norway. If anybody in Norway is watching this, give us a comment or email me or hit us up on the fans in the back of YouTube there in the About page. And I want to hear from you because your country's doing a good job and good for you guys. Seems a little cold there though. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Stay strong. United States, let's fix this prison system somehow. I really hope we can do it. We need the will and the way and get private prisons on the road. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. Please make good choices. I don't want to see you in prison ever or anybody in prison ever. It's not the way to go. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe.